Car fix back. Car fix back.
Car fix back.
Car fix back.
Car fix back.
Car fix back.
Car fix back.
Hey everyone, welcome back for another episode of First Canada Live. It is February, it's Groundhog's Day, so we're just going to do this over and over and over again. Hope you said hi to Wyerton Willie today. You know, some good news. Things coming up soon, but this is going to be a fun show. For those of you who don't know, First Canada Live is a show where we talk about first and we connect with our community, telling stories, talk about robots, initiatives, all sorts of good stuff that's happening in the First Canada world. And to help us have a great show today, I'd like to introduce our co-host. She's from the First Canada Youth Council, a student on First Team 745060 Orobots. We have Julia here. Hey, Julia.
Hi,
How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited. Groundhog's Day, you know, I know it's like it's not a real holiday and groundhogs don't actually control the weather, but like to me, it's like spring is almost here. I know we have to get through February, but like spring is almost here. And we got a lot of announcements about spring because we got a lot of stuff coming up. So that's going to be really fun to get through. But what are you most excited about today's show? I think I know what you're most excited about.
I would have to say the STEMathon preview.
That's right. We're going to be talking a lot about the 2021 STEMathon. You don't not sure what a STEMathon is? That's okay, because we're going to tell you everything that happened in 2020 and what's happening in 2021. So it's going to be a really fun show. For those of you who are out there tuning in, if you have any questions for myself, Julia, any of our guests, questions about any of the announcements that are happening today as they're happening, drop them into the Twitch chat, and then one of our moderators will get them to us, and we'll do our best to answer them on air. And always remember, we're here to have some fun and celebrate excellence in our community. So let's stay positive and stay energetic. But speaking of energy, you know, to maintain energy, you got to have a sense of wellness. So Julia, why don't you lead us through the Youth Council Wellness Moment?
All right, so this week's wellness moment is actually, we're going to be talking about mental health buddies. And the idea behind this is during the pandemic, you can feel a little isolated or a little lonely because you can't see your friends and family like you used to. So I thought it'd be a great idea to talk about this. So the idea behind it is you find someone you care about and someone that you trust and that you can talk to, and you make it a goal to check in with them every so often, whether that's once a week, twice a week, once a month, however you seem fit. You basically just connect with them and share how you're feeling, how your mental health is. If you need any support, any help, it's a great way to get that help and support. And it makes you feel less lonely in this pandemic, especially if your mental health has been making you feel even more isolated and you can't like check in with people. This is a great way. And if you don't feel comfortable with that, there's always the option with pen pals. It gives you something to look forward to and a great way to keep in touch with someone.
That is pretty cool because, you know, everyone knows this, but maybe it's still hard to absorb that, you know, the pandemic's been isolating. You know, you're not going to school every day, or you're not necessarily going to work, and you're not seeing, you know, the people that you're so used to seeing. So, you know, like, you know, have a buddy that you can count on. Do you have like a mental health buddy, Julia?
I talk to my best friend every day, so that's considering her my mental health buddy.
That's awesome. That's so cool that you have that. And it's, you know, like, because I'm sure it's like a bummer not seeing your best friend in school every day. I'm sure that's
Yeah,
really
definitely.
weird. But it's, you know, everyone's health is so important. Remember, mental health is health. You know, it is just another part of it. It's the same as physical health. You need to take care of yourselves, and we need to just all take care of each other. And so that's what we're going to do. And so thank you for that, Julia. Now it's time to get into our news updates to get us ready for, you know, everything that's going on. And normally we'd be doing a lot of these updates right now, but we have, you know, John Hobbins and Dave Ellis and Mark Brenner coming on a little bit later on, and they're going to be going over a lot of the news updates. We're going to save that for there. But, you know, we talked about it earlier, this show, we've got the STEMathon coming on, but also in just a little bit, we're going to have Humber College, some representatives from Humber College on the show as well. And they're going to be telling us about a little bit about their school. So there's lots of cool stuff going on, but a couple of announcements for you, or just maybe more like reminders. There is an Ontario First Team Support Slack that is open, and, you know, if you want to get in on that action, take a look at your past email blasts, First Canada email blasts, for an invite and hop on in. I know this weekend some FTC teams were struggling with their programming, and another team just like jumped in and gave them all sorts of advice. It was really cool in real time to see teams getting help and getting feedback. So if you're working on any of the challenges right now, this is what you want to get into. Scholarships, there's a lot of scholarships going on, and this is the time of year where those applications are going fast and furious. First Canada has had 2 scholarships that had their deadlines closed already, the Don Bosey Leadership Scholarship and the Women in STEM Scholarship, but the Build a Dream Skilled Trades Scholarship is still open. The deadline is February 15th, so make sure you apply if you are eligible. You can find all the details at firstroboticscanada.org/scholarships. And now for all of you on FRC teams, there's a lot of deadlines coming up. And so, Julia, what's your team been working on lately?
So our team has been really focusing on the innovation challenge and the game design challenge these past
Yep.
few weeks. We've done so many brainstorming sessions. We meet twice a week, and we're actually starting to get the measurements down on our game design, and hoping to start some CAD pretty soon. We pretty big things happened.
Well, and it's a good thing that you're already planning and already meeting, because the deadlines are coming up. It's not like right away. You still have a lot of time. If you haven't started, I think you can still get these things done. But the game design and innovation challenge deadlines are March 4th. So that's 4 weeks and 2 days from now. So, get started on that. But there's some sooner deadlines coming up. Teams list, all you mentors out there, you got no excuse. You need to be submitting at least 2 students for Dean's List. These students are awesome. They deserve that sort of recognition. The deadline is February 18th. And for the students, you have a lot of mentors who do a lot of work for you. And the best way you can recognize them is a nomination for the Woody Flowers Finalist Award, which is due also on February 18th. That's 2 weeks and 2 days. So stuff is coming up soon. Remember, these essays are only, I believe, 3,000 characters. So you can do it in a short period of time. But the sooner you start, the sooner you can finish. And I like to say the key to effective writing is rewriting. So start early and draft and change things up and keep innovating. For the Chairman's Award, February 25th is the deadline. So all Chairman's Award teams, get your submission in, get it ready, get it going. And we're going to be talking a lot more about Chairman's when John and Dave come on, because we got some information on some other deadlines with that. And of course, the skills challenges, if those of you who found ways to get access to your robot, the deadline is April 8th. So you've got some time. If school hasn't gone back yet, but is going back the next couple of weeks, we're hearing lots of stuff happening. Maybe you can take part in the skills challenges. But the only thing that you need to do is you need to opt in by March 4th, saying, hey, we are going to submit, but the actual submission deadline is April 8th. So, want to pay attention to all of those. Another neat announcement for all our mentors out there is that every single mentor in Ontario who is on a team roster for FLL, FTC, or FRC will be given a mentor pin courtesy of First Canada. That's right. It's going to be mailed to you. It's a cool pin that shows that you competed in the 2020-2021 season. So first of all, don't order them. There's ads. You can order them online. No. You don't need to do that. We're taking care of you, because this is like the least we can do. Like, mentors put in hundreds and hundreds of hours. The least we can do. Give you this little pin. It's a nice piece of recognition. And, once we get back to real events, you can, wear it and show it off to everyone. And it's going to be good stuff. But to get them, you have to be on a team roster. And if you want to submit for any of these awards, you're going to have students on your team roster. So get people registered on your team rosters. If you're not sure how to do it, you can check out our YouTube channel, the First Canada YouTube channel, because Paul Keenan, better known as Swaggy P, has made a video on this. Or you can hit up Swaggy P and just send him a message and be like, hey, can you help me with team rosters? And also, I have a bag of chips that's open. I don't know how to seal it. So if you want to help me with that too. So Swaggy P does. He's the man of the chip clip. So there's all sorts of good stuff happening right now. So Julia, we talked a little bit about Game Design Innovation Challenge. Started on a Woody Flowers nomination. Is that something your team's been working away at?
Oh, I don't know
This
if
is
I'm
the
allowed
part
to
where I
say.
peer pressure you a little bit,
Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna say anything about
That's
that.
right.
I don't
Well,
know
you
who's
want something.
watching.
That's right. You want surprises. It's
Yeah.
It's one of the coolest things. I know. I was fortunate enough to be nominated for this award and win it way back in the day, 2005, and I had no idea what was going on, and it was the coolest, craziest moment. So it's something really special that you can do for your mentors. And actually, next week on the show, we're going to have the 2020 Ontario Provincial Championship Woody Flowers Finalist Award winner Vivian Wynn on the show, and so she is an awesome role model. She's actually the first young woman alumni to win that award in Canada. So like there's been tons of boys who've won in the past, but she's kind of like a land breaker there. So she's gonna be on. She was part of the STEMathon last year, Julia. So that
Oh,
I don't know if
that's
she was the
exciting.
mentor on your team. I don't remember.
I'm not sure I remember either.
I have all sorts of stuff to ask you about the STEMathon, but I'm gonna save it for later on in the show because stuff is going good. But other than that, Julia, like so you're obviously you're doing stuff with your team. How are you keeping your mental health up right about now?
Oh my goodness. Really putting me on the spot there, Karthik.
Absolutely. So I do.
So our team has a big emphasis on that mental health aspect as well. So what we do every month, we have a game night. We just had our game night yesterday, actually. And we get together and we play a few online interactive games. We stole, well, I wouldn't say stole. We borrowed the idea from Victoria's team,
Yeah.
Celtics. So I thought that was great. So I implemented it into our team. As well, I connect with my friends a lot, and I still go to, as you probably know, I go to the barn. So that's a
Yes.
great way for me to keep my mental health up.
So what games have you been playing on game night?
Oh, last night we played, I think it was Jackbox.
Oh, Jackbox is always fun.
Yeah, that
It's
was
always
lots
a
of
good
fun.
time. That's a nice one. Do you play Among Us, or is that
Yeah,
bad now?
we
Is that
played
still a thing?
Among Us.
Okay. I learned it this summer because like a group of like the First Canada like volunteers, we had like a little group and we had like they set up like a Discord, not like a Discord person, but they had like a little Discord and we play Among Us and it's a good time. I personally I'm not really focused on like the intruder or whatever. My goal is just to get my tasks done. Like if I have wiring to do, I'm gonna get it done because I'm very focused. And then all these people's calling meetings and stuff in the middle. I'm like, I'm trying to get stuff done. Why are we having these pointless meetings to discuss, like the imposter or whatever? I don't worry about other people's businesses. I'm not a snitch, so I'm just gonna do my thing, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a good time. And it's really interesting. It's cool to see that these teams are connecting. I know last week on First Canada Live, I was just kind of blown away because we had the first LEGO League Explorer students on, and there was the 3 students, and they hadn't actually one of them, the one girl, hadn't met the other students on the team yet, but like she was like, oh, these are my friends now, and like it's so cool that we can still find ways to connect and find ways to make things happen. It's really, really special. So.
Mhm.
Shout out to everyone in our community who's doing cool stuff and staying connected. This has been a challenging 11 months, but we're trying to make the best of it. And that's, kind of the first spirit of everything that we do. All right, folks, I think it's time to get moving into our next segment, and we will be back in just a moment after a word from actually the participants in our next segment, Humber College.
You are ambitious, a problem solver, an out-of-the-box thinker. Welcome to Humber, a place where you'll get experiential learning in the classroom and beyond. You'll join students from around the world at one of our amazing campuses. You'll collaborate with industry leaders and be a part of a healthy and inclusive community. From film to fashion, industrial design to international development, sustainable energy to content strategy, there's a program for you. With inspiring, innovative spaces you'll want to call your own, you'll find a lot to be proud of. The diversity of our students brings the campus to life. Our faculty are award-winning trailblazers, and our graduates are making waves in every industry. From orientation to graduation, this is the next step to your success. At Humber, we are focused on your future. Be bold, be courageous, be Humber.
All right, and we're back, and that video just kind of showcases a lot of the cool stuff at Humber, but we're going to be talking all about that because we have 2 very special guests. First, we have Dr. Sean Gaffari, who is the Associate Dean in the Faculty of Applied Sciences and Technology at Humber, Advanced Manufacturing Cluster at Humber College, and wait till you see where he is today. So welcome, Sean, and Sean, before we get to our guests, please tell us about what you got going on behind you.
First of all, hi everybody, and good to see you, Karthik, again. Hopefully next time at Humber.
Absolutely.
Yes, actually, I am sitting in an advanced manufacturing lab. It is one of the newest type of the labs that you can have very different type of the manufacturing facility, digital manufacturing, cloud computing, cyber security, and a lot of things that can happen in the new environment of the manufacturing. And this is one of the very, very unique lab in the whole Canada.
Well, that is very, very exciting. I know, coming to Humber College every year for the past 2 years has been just a thrill, seeing that event, seeing the excitement, and just kind of walking around your facility, seeing all the cool stuff that's there. And, you have a lot of great students at Humber, and we have one of them here today. So I'd like to introduce Janaya Miller, who is a current final year mechanical engineering technology student at Humber College. Hello, Janaya. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for being here. And we're really excited to hear from Humber because at First Canada, we're so thankful for our partners from all the universities and colleges across Canada who, support us, host events. And we know normally our students would be getting ready to go to Humber College for the event right now. They'd be super, super excited. They won't be able to do that this year, but we wanted to showcase all the cool stuff that's going on. And so, I guess the first question for you, Sean, is what type of research and co-op opportunities does Humber College offer for engineering and science students?
So actually, we have a new tree engineering program, which is approved in the Ontario. It's the newest type of the engineering, design, build, mechatronics, and also ICT, which is the computer engineering. These are, all of them have lots of opportunity to work with the industry through the co-op, through the capstone in the last year, and a lot of applied researches that we are working with the different type of industry. For example, the lab that I'm sitting in it is equipped with the Festo equipment, one of the biggest manufacturer of the equipment of the pneumatic, and I'm pretty sure you guys in the robotics are very, very familiar with the Festo.
Yeah, Festo actually puts some of the parts in the kit of parts that the first teams get, the solenoids. So
exactly. So we are a very close partner with the Festo. So a lot of our students getting the opportunity to work with these companies through their education, and especially in the final years through the applied research and the capstone projects.
very, very cool. Julia, do you have a question for Sean?
I do. So relating back to what we were talking about earlier about mental health, so I was wondering what kind of mental health support systems are present and effective at Humber.
Julia, very, very good question. Thanks for your question. Actually, we have a lot of resources at Humber from the supporters in the basically a group of the students called Ignite at Humber. They support one-to-one, peer-to-peer the students. But in general, most of our classes are very small, 15, 10 students. So faculty know the students. They are the first resources that there is any problem, they are going to do that, to go to them. And also we have a lot of advisors, program coordinator, associate dean, and a lot of facilities and supporters of the students, especially in this difficult time for our students and the community.
It's really great that you have those opportunities. And I also, the small class sizes, that's so appealing. I was so used to lectures of 160 or lectures of 500. So knowing that you can get to know your professor is just got to be a relieving feeling. I didn't really have that. So that's very cool. And so, you talked a little bit about options for engineering and science students, but what other programs are there that undergraduate students can do at Humber?
So as you know, Humber is the largest college in the Canada. So and one of the pioneer in the polytechnic education. So we have a wide range of the education from skilled trades to engineering. We have even post-grad programs. So our typical the engineering programs such as electronics, electrical, electromechanical, and mechanical engineering. They have technician, technology, and also we have a skilled trade. And these new three engineering, which is the most recent curriculum that is available in the engineering field, is focused on that one. And our first cohort is going to be in the fall 2021. So if any of the listeners and the first robotics people wants to apply, that's the time of it. And guess what? This is the program is designed based on the very, very important things which is aligned with the spirit of the first robotic competition, having innovation, thinking out of the box.
Yeah, that's going to totally line up with what our students are looking for, and it just makes this partnership make so much sense.
Yeah, for sure. That's really exciting to hear about. So I had another question. So what makes Humber School of Applied Technology different from other colleges?
Many different differentiations. First of all, we have huge labs with the updated technologies, such as the one that I'm sitting in it. We have a Center of the Innovation, 93,000 square foot, is just opened last 2 years with the founders that are all coming from the industry, the biggest players in the field of the technology. Humber is located, the Northam campus is located within the arms of the biggest manufacturing environment in the Canada. We are working a lot with them, and they are going to give us back to their advice to our program. They hire our students as a co-op. They bring their projects for us. So there are lots of synergy and working very close to each other. This is going to make Humber different from the other colleges and universities.
That is very, very cool. So, you know, Sean, we've heard a lot from you, but I'd love to hear Janaya, just kind of knowing about what have you enjoyed especially about your learning experience at Humber?
I really love how supportive the faculties and the teachers are. Like Sean said, how the class sizes are fairly small. You get to know like your peers and your teachers a lot better than you would a lecture hall. And yeah, I bet I got like a really good experience with my education through mostly hands-on projects, which is why I chose to go to college in the first place, was to do the hands-on training. Yeah.
So what was one like specifically cool hands-on project you worked on?
Right now, actually, I'm in an applied manufacturing course, and we have to design a robot, and we're doing a mini claw machine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's something I'm really excited for.
That's one that's going to resonate with our entire audience. So that,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. So, you know, we have another set of questions here that was put together by our youth council. So, you know, high school students who want to learn more about Humber. So maybe Julie, you want to kick off some of the youth council questions?
Sure. So for anyone, if you were to join one extracurricular club, what would you pick?
I can go with that. I will join a skills competition. Skills competition is a very, very famous club in the Humber. We have different teams in the skills, from the precise machining, design, 3D design, traditional machining, and the mechatronics. And our mechatronics team in the last 13 years, we were always medalists in the Ontario. We have gone many times to the basically nationally, and we get medals. And 2 times we represented Canada in the world. So being a part of that team is very, very cool. Lots of competition, lots of training, but you know, it's cool to be in the competition.
I mean, that just sounds perfect for first students, because they are, you know, learn so much about competition and competing ethically, and just the excitement, the energy of having a goal, but you're working with teammates too. And that's kind of like the excitement. So, you know, you can take what you're doing at first, and then it's like, you can continue that at Humber, which is super awesome. Yeah, Janaya, I think this is a good question for you, but like, what from our youth council, what do students like most about Humber College's campus life? What's your favorite part of it?
I think probably the student engagement, and the campus has like a lot. They throw a lot of like events for the students. There's always something going on. They have a whole like food truck frenzy thing that they do. Yeah, they bring in a bunch of food trucks. Or when there's like a holiday, they have like these like they'll sell like gift baskets for the students. Yeah, they do a lot for their students.
You had me sold at food trucks, so
Yeah.
I was like, I'm like all in. What's the best food truck that comes by?
There's a taco truck that I really
nice.
like. Yeah.
Yes. The tacos make everything,
Yeah.
everything better.
Yeah, so we talked a lot about the technology side of Humber. But I was wondering, what does the art and music scene look like at Humber?
I will leave this question to Janaya.
Um, I don't know a lot about the actual programs, but I know that Humber usually for all their programs they do really cool showcasings. So I know that they have like their own radio broadcast channel. Um, and like for any of the like they have like specific like buildings. So like for makeup buildings, they'll showcase like their photography and stuff for their makeup. So I'm assuming it's the same for the music.
I can add something to that. We are currently in the process of building a new culture hub in our Lakeshore campus. Lakeshore campus is a large campus that we have in the Lakeshore territory area, which is going to host our new cultural hub. And we are looking for a sort of hub that is going to connect all the community with the cultural arts, music, drama shows, and a lot of things is going to be happen. In addition, one of the programs that is very, very famous and working in our north and also Lakeshore campus is our media. We have a lot of rooms in this building that they are equipped with the virtual reality, augmented reality. The students make games and basically activities which they are going to get involved in it. We are trying to add those type of the idea of the augmented reality and virtual reality within our manufacturing environment. So a lot of cool things are going on. Stay tuned, and highly recommend you to visit our campus when it is possible. Hopefully it's going to be very soon.
That hopefully it'll be really, really good. And so, we talked a lot about the undergraduate programs. Are there options for like, graduate studies or post-grad certificates, any of those sorts of things going on?
Okay, so we have a number of the postgrad basically programs. They're very specific and targeted. If you're familiar with the new type of the postgrad education, micro-credentials, they're very, very targeted to the people who are already have a degree and they want to educate themselves in a special field. So we have a number of them. Again, the list is on the website. You can check it out. A lot of our students, after finishing their program, 2 years, 3-year diploma and advanced diploma, they continue their education in the different universities around. And a lot of them in our own program can have a bridge semester to continue their engineering degree, which now develop in the Humber. So a variety of the education. Education is not only a bachelor or a master or it's a wide range of the education. You start from one spam, you should have the capability to go through whatever you like and whatever you're capable to do that. The good thing about the Humber is that this wide range of the availability of the different programs are here, and you just need to go through the what you like and what you're basically want to have as your future career.
And it seems really cool that there's so many options and possibilities and different paths you can take, because I think we also know that education is not a linear process. As people used to always think it's like high school, bachelor's, master, like that sort of path. But the path can be you can go work in industry for a bit, then you can come back, pick up a new certification, you can do stuff parallel. And I really love that Humber has options for that. One question, Sean, obviously we're all been dealing with the pandemic, but what resources and opportunities have Humber put in place in response to all of this?
Very good question, Kartik. So the safety of our students, our staff, and our faculty is the most and the highest priority for us. So from the first day that the pandemic hit our community, we try to follow very closely all the measures and all the recommendation by the public safety. So currently, all of our classes, all the students and all the staff and faculty wearing a mask inside the building. We have a lot of signage for the social distancing. All of our classes are designed now in a way that you are going to have a social distancing protocol within the classroom. If the classroom is small and there's no room for that, we have physical barriers, plexiglasses on that. A lot of faculty using shields, and we take it very, very seriously. But we believe that hands-on education is very, very important and integral within our program. So we don't want to skip that one. So we follow all the regulations, we follow all the safety protocols, but still we provide hands-on education. One of the things that it is making our a differentiation between Humber and the other colleges is that we have a large labs. We have a variety of the access to the good faculties. So we increase the number of the classes significantly to reduce the number of the students. So we give them this opportunity of the hands-on training.
Well, that sounds amazing. I'm glad you're thinking of students, but also, sticking to your core of like hands-on learning and all that's good, and having all that for students. Sean, Janaya, thank you so much for coming on the show. I think it's been really great for our students to learn about Humber College, and we can't wait till we get back. I can't wait to be at the event, with the microphone and just kind of saying, everyone, welcome to Humber. It's going to be so good to be back. Thank you for all your support and everything you do for FIRST, and thanks for being part of our show tonight.
And thank you so much for hosting.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
You're very welcome. Thank you. And we will be back in just a moment. Hey, we're back. Louis, doesn't Humber seem like a really cool place?
Yeah, for sure.
Have you been to the campus before? Has your team been to that event? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, it's a cool campus that you should definitely check out as soon as you can. But speaking of cool things that we should check out, we got 3 of the coolest people out there with some big announcements from FIRST Canada. So I'd like to please welcome Dave Ellis, FIRST Canada Vice President of Programs, and 2017 First Lego League Global Volunteer of the Year. Hey, how's it going, Dave? Welcome back.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you.
All right, and we of course have the Grand Master of Rap for FRC with John Hobbins, the FRC Director for FIRST Canada and 2009 Woody Flowers Finalist Award winner. Welcome back, Johnny Z.
Hey, Karthik, glad to be here with such great people. And Julia, I didn't see Wyerton Willie earlier today, but I can tell you I wasn't lonely because I saw a coyote, 7 turkeys, and 6 deer in my backyard today. So I'm ready to go.
Wow.
Are you like Cinderella? Like, do you have like all these like creatures just come to visit? Like, what's going on?
Well, I think like Julia, we're out in the country, so a bit of the boondocks, I guess, and all forest behind us. So it's just wonderful to take that moment for wellness and to just feed some animals and talk to the animals too.
Yeah, the turkey is coming to join you. It all works out. All right, and of course we have with us today, we have Mark Bredner, the FIRST Canada President and 2008 Championship Woody Flowers Award winner. Welcome, Mr. B.
Thanks, Karthik. Great to be here.
Well, I'm glad that we have all of you here, and we have a lot of different announcements, different things to talk about. But Mr. B, you've made some big decisions lately, so maybe you wanted to tell some people about it who may not have heard.
Thanks, Karthik. It's great to be on FIRST Canada Live. I'd like to talk to everybody today just about a couple of things. Firstly, I think most of you have heard by now, but I will be retiring from FIRST Canada this June 30th. It was a really difficult decision, as I've been involved from day one with FIRST in Canada and have an extreme passion for everything that FIRST stands for. I've loved every minute of it. The core values of FIRST are incredibly important to me. The passion I have for FIRST has not left and never, ever will. I'll remain available to FIRST Canada in an advisory capacity and will ensure that the successful new candidate will be prepared for the new role. I'll always be available to FIRST and hope to attend events, volunteer, and visit with you all. My health is great, and I'll spend some of my newfound time in July putting an addition on my cottage, fishing, wake surfing, and spending time with my family. I also intend to volunteer for other charities that are near and dear to my heart. I'm not one to sit still for too long, as you know, Karthik, so I expect to be engaged in many activities in the fall, hopefully be able to do some travel as well. So
That's super exciting. And Mr. B, I can say on behalf of, our entire community, just thank you for everything. And also we know that you're not going away. So this is not goodbye by any means. So there's going to be plenty more First Canada Lives. And once we have real event, not real, all our events are real, but in-person events, you're going to be there and it's going to be really, really cool.
I also want to, thank Dorothy Bars and our board of directors for their support over the last 22 years. I brought hundreds of proposals and crazy ideas to them, and they have approved every one, and that's brought us to where First Canada is today. I'm healthy, active, excited about the many new opportunities to come, including being involved with First Canada and our events. Thank you to everyone who's watching for allowing me to be part of this great first movement in Canada, and I know it will continue to get stronger than ever.
Absolutely. So thank you, Mr. B. And, if you want to stick around, because we've got some really cool announcements. Anything that you're super excited about coming up for the rest of the season?
Well, I tell you, there's a lot going on, and John and Dave, I'm not going to steal their thunder about all the many activities, but I just want to say, how proud I am of First Canada staff for, filling the void. There's been so much, we're all cooped up in our homes, but the activities that we've done, the online activities, the youth council has been involved. I mean, it's just been stellar. And I want to assure everybody that when we get back to quote normal, as soon as we can safely do it, we're not going to forget all the things we learned with our remote events. We're going to bring back our regular events, but we're going to take all of our learnings from what we learned from doing remote and virtually and blend that all together. It's going to be fantastic. So, it's going to be very, very exciting.
That it is for sure. And, speaking of all the cool new stuff we have going on, I think now maybe Dave and John just want to start telling us what's up and what's new.
Yeah, you listen to Mark and you think, oh, retirement sounds pretty good. I might have to look at that myself.
Yeah. Julia, you want to get retired as well?
Yeah.
Freedom 18, Julia. All right. Yeah. Thanks, Karthik. It's exciting to have all of these things that we're going to be talking about over the next little few minutes here. The events that are coming up for programs and for the volunteers and for the kids, the special ones too, not just the regular qualifying stuff, but also into some of the other different things that we've learned this year, like Mark was saying with the pandemic and the things that we've had to do a little differently. It's really created some really neat opportunities. So we'll get into all of that in this. So the first thing we've got coming up is we're going to talk about our qualifying events for First Lego League Challenge. And luckily we have some great hosts again. So, normally we'd have about maybe 30 qualifying tournaments all over the province face-to-face like we normally would. This year, with slightly fewer numbers, we're dialing it back to 5 events, but all of these people have run their events in the past. So it's going to be a really high quality event, of course, as always. And just a shout out to the hosts of these events that, they're really putting in a lot of effort to pivot. We've been doing this as First Canada for a while now and have things figured out. But for them, this is for a lot of them, this is the first time doing this. And these are typically FRC teams that are stepping up to the plate to really help us out with that. So super excited about those. Some of the really neat things that we've learned through these qualifying tournaments for First Lego League. We did a practice event earlier in the year, and I don't know if people saw it, but it's on our YouTube channel, the showcase of that. That was really, really cool. So we're going to be having one of those after each of the qualifiers as well. So that's really neat.
And what's really neat, Dave, because one of those dates, there's 3 events. We're going to be showing 3 straight events. So if you love First Lego League, tune in at like 9 o'clock and you watch an event and you watch another event, you can watch another event. So you get to see all this robot action, which is going to be super fun.
And you'll be busy because you're hosting those events. So
yes. And what we're going to on First Canada Live, we're going to be doing some cool stuff because if you can't watch the events, we're going to do a recap of every event on the following Tuesday after First Canada Live. So that'll be exciting too. So you're going to know what's going on in the world of First Lego League. And I think we're going to talk about First Tech Challenge now.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on to First Tech Challenge, slightly fewer events. So we've got 2 qualifying events. We've got one more scrimmage coming up. We've had 2 so far, and they've gone, really well. It's been really neat to see the FTC teams competing in an unusual way. So for the first LEGO League teams, they're actually running their robots on their tables and the refs are scoring them like usual. And with FTC, normally they'd be competing against other teams. So it's slightly different. They're doing more of the FLL model, FLL challenge model, where they're competing solely on their own field and then uploading those scores to the scoring software. But we saw some really high scores in our last scrimmage. Some scores, I've seen some other scores around the world, and we're keeping up with the rest of the world, which is really exciting to see.
As we always do.
As we always do. Usually leading, let's be honest, but yeah, we're doing well. So that's exciting to see, especially because it's only our second year. So to have that caliber of competition going on is really exciting. The FTC events are going to finish, the 2 qualifiers are going to finish with the same kind of showcase as the FLL Challenge events. And the FLL Challenge one, if you go back and look at that on YouTube, it's really fascinating to see how the matches were recorded and sent in for scoring, and we were able to use that in the show. But because we had live commentating on top of the videos, to me it felt like I was really there for the event. So that was really cool. So we'll be doing that with FTC as well. And the showcases, those dates there are the showcase dates. So those are the dates that you want to check in for that. And for the actual events, they're going to be working through the week leading up to that. So that'll be really cool to see. And then for both FLL and FTC, we're going to have a provincial championship as well, which I'll get into later on, but that'll be in May. And then connected with FTC is our Dean's List. So we have a Dean's List for FTC, for those that didn't know that. It's actually really similar to the FRC Dean's List. So we'll be putting on 2 of our winners from our provincials onto the global stage. We're not sure what that looks like for the headquarters version of that, but that's our process there. And the dates on the slide. So it's really important for our teams out there to make sure that the deadline to submit is always the 15th of the month before the competition. So since we're competing in April for the Dean's List, it's March 15th for our team. So they got to make sure they get that submission date in for that date. And then like all of our events that we talked about already with the provincials, there's going to be an award announcement in May. And we've kind of hinted at the digital expo there, and we'll get to that a little later on in the slide. But that's what we're looking forward to with the Dean's List. So I'm really excited about that. And I think at this point, I'm going to pass it off to John. He's got some discussion about FRC stuff.
All right. Welcome back, John.
Thanks, Dave, and thanks, Karthik. Before I get going, I just want to give a mentor month. We just finished our month of mentors that we recognize are superstar mentors from across the region. And I want to recognize one of my top mentors, Mr. Mark Redner, who I met over 20 years ago. And I got to tell you, I've learned so much from him, from not just about FIRST Robotics, but how to be a fantastic human being and how to fend off adversity and be able to deal with it in a classy, graceful manner. So Mark, thanks for everything you've done for me personally, and of course for FIRST Canada.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm so excited, Dave, to see what we're going to see from our teams when we get to these challenges, the results that they've been able to create and how they have engaged their teams, the creative ideas about, how do they do things virtually and how did that all work out? And then, of course, the skills challenges with the at-home and what the key pieces of that are going to be like and how our Ontario teams are going to go out there and just shock and awe the rest of the world, I'm sure. One of the first things I'm excited to tell you about is on this Thursday, Feb 4, we're going to have our mentor meeting, which is going to be a combined mentor meeting from FDC and FRC mentors. So all mentors are invited to attend. You'll see we'll be posting the link for that session, and it did go out in last week's e-blast. Critical updates around program and financial updates, some really good things there. I'm dangling the carrot a little bit for you, and just more information around support. So that's February 4th at 6:30 to 8 p.m.
John, where can people find the link for that?
I believe in the it's going to get posted in the chat box. It's also was on last week's e-blast, and of course we will send another blast out on that day just to remind people, because you don't want to miss this one. It's going to be incredible, and it's going to be accompanied with Mr. Dave Ellis with us too. So we'll be able to stick handle that FTC pieces of information along with FRC.
And it's always nice for our mentors just to be able to connect with each other as well. Just be in this,
Oh.
not in the same room. You know what I mean?
So much so, Karthik, and I've seen the numbers increasing rapidly for the amount of mentors that attend this bi-weekly session. And we really want to nurture that cross-program transition piece and awareness. So we figure the idea of bringing FTC mentors in together with the FRC is just a good deal all around for passing important information. And so many more things to share, such as you talked about the mentor Slack group, the idea of how we can maybe post things for sale, FRC, FTC for sale and buy items. How great is that? So that'd be fantastic. All right, let's get to some critical dates regarding our awards that are there. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank our lead judge advisor, James Dalgenio, and Artie Javari for the fantastic work behind the scenes that they're doing to plan these awards and the judging. So I know we're all pretty excited about the judging, and keep in mind with this Dean's List at the the district level, we have our district nominations first. Mentors, please get those essays in and your nominations February 18th, as Karthik mentioned before. Your interviews, so students' interviews will be March 9th, 10th to 19th. You'll be getting, the mentors will get an email from First Canada, Artie Javari, telling you exactly when those interviews will occur. And of course, we'll culminate the season with the announcements of on March 23rd on who the district winners are that would move on to the provincials.
And that'll be in our normal First Canada Live time slot. It'll be on a Tuesday.
Absolutely. If you look at or attend anything, make sure you go to First Canada Live every week. You'll get all the information there, all the key pieces. So as we look at the Chairman's Award, which we know is due on the 25th, as Karthik had said before, love this award, just fantastic. And of course, our session tonight is led by Hall of Famer Team 1114, Karthik, just fantastic. I always like to go back and chat with Karthik about that and how what they did to get up to being a world champion in the Chairman's. Just an amazing award. It just says so much about the team and everyone on that team. So again, March 16th to 20th for interviews, up to 12 minutes to speak at those interviews, 12 minutes overall, 7 minutes for the presentations, up to 5 minutes for the Q&A, and 3 team members allowed. And again, March 23rd to announce who those finalists are. And now let's just look at the provincial schedule that we have here. The Dean's List, key piece here, April 11th to 16th for the interviews. Again, you'll be getting key information by email from First Canada headquarters. And again, we will hear a little bit more later in the show about the fantastic digital expo that's coming up, and where we will announce the winners of these awards on a provincial basis. And now on to the chairmans for the provincials. So our chairmans are April 19th to the 23rd for the judging. Watch for emails again. You'll get that information by April 1st. And again, we'll all celebrate together at the big season-ending gala of Digital Expo. Karthik, back to you.
Thanks, John. One question we have from the chat for you. For the mentor chat that's happening on Thursday, will the information be posted somewhere afterwards for people who can't make the meeting?
Absolutely, we have recordings. And if you go on the First Canada website under the e-blasts, if you wanted to sign up to be an optional person to get those emails, if you're not already. Right beside that, you'll see the links for the last session, the pre-recorded session from the week before. And also, Karthik, you'll be able to get any other links from that session if you missed the e-blast. That's where you go to find the information. For example, tonight, if you want that link, you could go there to get it.
Perfect. Thanks, John. And then one other question we had was about the Innovation and Game Design Challenge, about how and when to opt in. Opting in for the Innovation and Game Design Challenge will be open starting on March 4th. And look for emails from First Headquarters on exact details on how to do that from the various team updates. I believe they're opening up a new system for opting into all of that, but that is going to open up on March 4th. And so thanks, John, for all your announcements, but I think we still have some more, right, Dave?
We do, yeah. So it's been hinted at on a number of slides here, but for the first time ever, we figured with all of the online stuff that we're doing, all the pivoting that we've had to do this year because of COVID, we've come up with really great ideas for things to do. And we figured we should probably wrap them all up with a nice little bow, kind of end of season and have a big celebration. So the First Canada Digital Expo, the first time we've ever done this, it's going to be really, really cool. And it's going to be a week-long bonanza of First. So First Canada Live is just like a snippet of information for you. This is going to be fantastic. We're going to have an FLL, it's listed there on the slide, but we're going to have an FLL Explorer Festival. So that'll be really cool. You always see the cutest kids with their designs, and they're actually quite ingenious, some of them, when you actually sit down and chat with them and have some time for that. So that'll be really cool. We're going to wrap up both the FLL Challenge and the FTC seasons with the Provincial Championship Showcase. Those events are actually going to happen the week before in terms of the judging and the robot scoring and all that stuff, but then we're going to pull it together and have the showcase as part of the Expo. We're also going to have the district chairmans and Dean's List Awards nominations covered in that Expo as well. And then the provincial champions for the chairmans and for the Dean's List Awards. So that'll be really exciting to have that through that week as well. We're going to be covering all kinds of awards. We've got the First Program Awards, like the Woody Flowers Awards. We've got the Volunteer Awards, the Volunteer of the Year, the Cross Program Awards. We're going to have scholarships handed out at that point as well during that awards banquet. So it's going to be really, really cool. And then mixed in with that Expo, with all the awards and the events that's going on that week, we're also going to be having panel discussions and a speaker series, which is going to be really, really cool. So it's going to be neat to have some high-level speakers come in and really inspire people. And so I'm really looking forward to that part of it as well, even though my piece is more the program stuff. I'm really looking forward to the speaker series. And those panel discussions are always so deep, right? The conversations that happen through there. So I'm really excited to see that as well.
Wow, Dave, this is a lot. This is a lot of cool stuff going on. And so, the FLL Challenge Provincial Championship, the FTC Provincial Championship, and we're gonna have this big awards gala. That's all gonna be on one day. We're gonna have this one Saturday where we're gonna be all the robots you want. FLL Championship, and these are gonna be the best of the best that are finely tuned. And this is happening in May. Normally, we would be having our FLL Championship in January, right, Dave?
Yep.
So teams, because of it's a different year, teams have more time, and we can see some really cool stuff going on. And then think back to the awards gala we had last year. We're going to be announcing, all the volunteers of the year, the Woody Flowers Award, all sorts of cool stuff. And it's going to be this big, giant day where it's almost like the Super Bowl and the Oscars kind of jammed together.
Yeah.
This one special thing. So
that's a really good analogy.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. I think we can move off the slides right now, but I know one question that is out there right now, John.
Did you want to? Did you want to finish off with the STEMathon? So yeah, you can go to that last slide there for us. Our infamous Swaggy P. Thanks, bud. So so the STEMathon is going to be coming up as well, and that's actually before our Expo. But it's we didn't want to put too much in there because the whole next segment tonight obviously is about the STEMathon. So we'll leave that to the experts on that, but just wanted to add that in. If you're marking down your calendars for dates to keep an eye on, definitely want to make sure that you're checking the STEMathon out because it was so well received last year. There was so much hype about it, and the kids, the sponsors, and the mentors all had a great time with that. So looking forward to that as well.
I don't want to say too much about the STEMathon, but it was the coolest thing ever, and we're going to talk about that, right, Julia?
Yeah, very excited.
Because you lived it. You were up for 24 hours just working away on your project, right?
That's crazy. It's crazy.
That's amazing. John, one question for you, because you talked about the interviews for Dean's List and chairmans, districts and provincials, but obviously things are a little bit different this year with everything. So have the number of chairman's awards and Dean's Lists changed?
Yeah, really good question, Karthik. I'm sure a lot of teams out there are wondering that. what the status is with that. And, the numbers are close to what they were before. So for district events, overall district DLAs and chairmans, we're going to have 10 Dean's lists, and we're going to have 5 for chairmans. And then those will be judged, and then they'll move on to the provincials. And at the provincials, we'll have 3 Dean's lists and 2 chairmans this year.
Very
Unlike
nice.
typically we would have 5 and 2 in previous years.
Yeah, and it's a great way for teams to get recognized. We talked about this, and we'll keep saying it, but you can always submit for Dean's List. You can always submit for chairman's, and you might feel, I know there's some teams out there who are going to feel like, well, we haven't done as much as we normally do, and that's okay, because everything's different for everyone this year. And it's not about always trying to outdo what you've done in the past. You're just trying to do the best that you can with what you have right now, and that's what the judges want to hear about. So even if you feel, oh, we used to do so much more, we all used to do so much more.
Yeah. Karthik, you're so right about that. And I got to say, when I was talking to mentors at the beginning of the season, are you going to participate this year? And what does that look like? If there is one reason, there's many, many good reasons to participate, but one reason is submit those Dean's List nominations in there. Let's recognize our kids. Our kids go through the program and they come out the other end, and we're all here. We remain here. We keep moving it, but we've got to make sure we recognize. And it's same thing goes for the Woody Flowers.
Absolutely. And John, you in 2009 won the Woody Flowers Finalist Award. I think I see it in the background right there. What was that experience like for you? Like, what did it mean to you, and what does it still mean to you 12 years later?
You know what? By far the pinnacle of awards for me. It really it was a surprise, because I actually won it in the United States. So one of the events there, yeah. And honestly, that event, I can't remember, 50 teams, 55 teams were at that event all the time. Top teams from all over. We get 340 there. All the top teams and all the Canadian teams were there. It's just great.
Won by a Canadian team that event too.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going through memories now of that event and how exciting that was. And of course, so many Ontario teams go there year after year after year. But back when we were in the regional model, of course. But that was just incredible. And I didn't expect it at that point. But I did have a bit of a tip, because what happened was the person managing the slides at that show actually put up my name before the actual announcer called it. So you would know what that's like to not do that, and how important that is.
Well, I was the MC at that event. I remember that happening. I was, they had someone out, because, always like a past Woody Flowers Award winner.
Yeah.
But I remember I was reading like another award, and I was like, oh boy. Hopefully Hopkins didn't see that.
I know. And you know what? We know our students are just so they give everything they can, but I got to tell you, from the mentor point of view and perspective, we feel like we give such large chunk of our life, because we're all in. We're so dedicated, and it's just so rewarding to be recognized for that.
Yeah. And so we've been going through this season, and it's definitely been different. But like, Dave, like, what's the coolest thing that you've seen recently? Because you talk to so many teams and you're so engaged with the community. What have you seen that's been like, you just go, wow, our teams are awesome?
So I was chatting with a team recently, and an FTC team, and it was a school-based team, and they were talking about how challenging it's been, especially with the recent lockdown, right? But they still competed last time, and they're competing in this next event. And I said to them, I saw you in the first scrimmage in December, and you barely had a robot moving on the field. And now in the second event, they had a shooter going on, and and they were picking up the wobble ball. I'm like, how did you manage that in that short period of time? And the coach had actually, and this is a rookie coach too, she had actually followed some of the advice that we talked about on First Canada Live with, early on in the season, how could you manage this kind of thing? And they had actually followed that. So each kid had actually built a different component of their robot. And then they met in her garage outside with the garage door open and their masks on or whatever. And they met to put the robot together. And I thought that was really a really good way of showing how they could still work as a team. They could still have an experience for each of those kids where they're building something, designing something. The communication and coordination that would take to pull that off effectively just is, to me, more astounding than if they had been able to do it together, right? And then they've pulled this robot together and they're competing. And I think that perseverance is the thing that is most cool for me, and the thing that I think is really pulling our teams forward throughout this year, and showing the strength in our teams and our teachers and students.
Yeah, and I think it kind of goes to show, like, we say things like it's not about the robot, and a lot of times people are kind of like, what do you mean it's a robotics competition? But without having that central focus on the like in-person events, we're still seeing the learning and the gracious
Oh,
professionalism
yeah,
and
for
all
sure.
that cool stuff happening. And that kind of like that's what we mean when we say it's not about the robot. We are running out of time here, but John, I'm just wondering if you have any final words for our audience today.
Oh, great. I'll be quick. I do have one really good idea, Karthik. Imagine how FRC teams could get involved and actually compete somehow this year at some level. What would that look like? Well, how about a virtual event, an FTC event? What if FRC teams were able to acquire an FTC robot and then get into one of those events? So you're going to hear more about these opportunities. Tune in on February 4th, 6:30 p.m. See you then.
I was going to say, John, we should talk about that on Thursday.
I was gonna say that was pretty good, but when I was throwing it to you for final words, John, I was hoping that was coming out as a wrap. So, where are we at, buddy?
Again, I defer to Thursday, the 4th. If you want to hear it, you got to show up then, and I'll give it to you then. Yeah.
Oh, but with the students, that's a mentor chat. They're going to be like, what are we missing out on? This is why you want to graduate and work hard and become a mentor, because then you can hear John rap. That's like the incentive.
Right, yeah.
Karthik, we'll record it. We'll play it on next week's First Canada Live.
Absolutely. And,
just a wrap.
And the week after, and the week after that, and the week after that. It's Groundhog Day. We just keep going. We keep going. Hey,
Karthik, from all of that stuff that we talked about tonight, all that data, all those things that Dave went through, just an enormous amount of things behind the scenes. I just want to say to you, much like everyone else at first, listen, don't push me. I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. We're doing so much for the first communities. See you then.
I love it. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, John, for being here. All these great announcements, a lot of stuff for our teams to absorb. Can't wait for the Digital Expo. And, you teased on the STEMathon. And we're going to be talking about the STEMathon in just one moment when we come back from this word from our sponsors.
Yeah.
Hey, we're back. All right, Julia, the STEMathon's pretty exciting, but do you think y'all have a rap prepared?
Oh, I don't think we do have a wrap prepared. We'll have to bring one next time.
You got 27 minutes to like work on it. That's like STEMathon deadlines, It's like, hey, let's go, let's go, let's go. But let's go right into talking about the STEMathon. We got a great panel here to discuss it. First off, we have Artie Gaffari, Vice President of Partnerships for First Canada and 2016 Woody Flowers Finalist Award. We've got a lot of Woody Flowers people today. This is really, really cool. Welcome, Artie. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Excited to be here.
And we have, she's been on the show a lot. You might have seen her actually on Beyond the Bots on the First Inspires Twitch recently. We have Mahak D, member of Team 4939 All Spark 9 and the First Canada Youth Council. How's it going, Mahak?
I'm super excited to be here again, and I'm really excited to let everyone know about what's happening with the STEMathon this year.
That's right, because STEMathons are like your thing. So this is really cool. And we had someone who was a mentor of the STEMathon last year. We have Angela Tolis, First Canada alum, mentor of Team 4039 Makeshift Robotics, and winner of the 2019 First Canada Women in STEM Scholarship. Welcome back, Angela.
Hi, thanks for having me again.
Well, we will keep having you on because you're pretty awesome, like this entire crew is. Although you don't have a rap for us, so like that's
No.
we heard.
How are we going to step this game up?
I know we heard from Johnny Z. Now we want to hear the rap wiles of Artie J. Come on.
Well, I don't have a rap, but we heard some amazing virtual events that were happening for teams all across First programs, and that was pretty cool. So we're hoping we can excite everyone further with the information we have today to share about the STEMathon. And I know Mehek and Angela and Julia and a lot of our planning team is prepared really well for the STEMathon this year. So hopefully everybody will be as excited as the wrap that John just did. But to just give you a little bit of information about the STEMathon, I mean, the STEMathon was launched last year for the very first time. And my God, what an event we had. I think it was a huge success for our very first virtual event. In the past, for many years, very few years now, we've been hosting the Girls in First weekend at the infamous Kingbridge Center, where we've had, 100 plus girls come out to the event. And, really a weekend filled with inspirational conversations, team building activities. Students had opportunities to network with other students. Also, they had an opportunity to network with industry mentors and industry professionals. We had great panel discussions, workshops on allyship, many different things that were going on that were really inspirational during that weekend that happened when we were in person. So last year, when the pandemic hit us so suddenly, we kind of had to shift gears and the STEMathon was born. So we kind of realized got to do something with the same theme and the same idea. So the STEMathon kind of came into play and it was great. And we're really excited today to now announce the second annual STEMathon and to share more details about really what it's about this year. How is it happening? Where is it happening? When is it happening? And all that you need to do to be prepared to hit the register button and go. So, kind of excited to be here, Karthik and Julia, to kind of go over those details today.
All right. So Mehak, Julia, Angela, tell us all about this.
Yeah, so we are so excited for the STEMathon, for 2021 STEMathon. And for those of you who may not have heard about what a STEMathon is or haven't been to our STEMathon last year, we just want to give a quick overview. I'll let you know exactly what's going to be happening and then tease the date at the end, which I think Mr. Ellis already did, but more information about where you can register and everything like that. But essentially what a STEMathon is, it's a form of a hackathon where you basically have a chance to practice your entrepreneurial skills through creating some sort of hardware or software solution to the proposed theme. And this theme and problem changes every single year, and we'll let you know what the theme last year was. But the reason why we decided to go with a STEMathon versus a hackathon was that we know a lot of the participants within FIRST programs have a diverse range of expertise and skills, and we didn't really want to limit everyone to just coding. So the solutions that you come up with can include any form of STEM that you like, whether that be taking like a science look at it through like a science lens, or just looking at it purely like mathematics or data management, which I know Karthik is very interested in.
I was about to say, if someone wants to do like a data project, I'll be like, I'm going to be one of like the roving mentors. I'll be like all in to help with that. I mean, okay, I'm going to get off my data soapbox. I'll let you. So.
Yeah, but basically like the main goal through a STEMathon is giving you some sort of prompt, and you have to create a solution out of it, looking at it from any lens that you like.
Awesome. So I'm going to be quickly talking about the format of a STEMathon. So for those who don't know, it is completely virtual and it is done over a period of 24 hours. So teams can choose to stay awake for that whole 24 hours and working, or they can take naps throughout it, or they can binge work on it right at the start and sleep for the rest of the night. It's totally up to what your team decides to do. I know my team decided to stay awake for basically most of it. And so a lot of the communication is done on Slack, but it's not just communication. There's lots of networking skills you can do on Slack, and there's different channels. So there's the random channel, which we had last year, which is really exciting. We talked about lots of off-topic stuff. There's also a help channel, a bunch of different sort of things, a wide range of them, which is really exciting. And so the opening and closing ceremonies are done on a live stream over Twitch, and lots of activities are done over Zoom. So that can be, last year we did a scavenger hunt. We also did yoga. So those are done over Zoom. And yeah, so you do lots of independent work with your team. And we'll be talking about this later on, but you also get paired up with a mentor. All right, so who can join? So anyone who's between the ages 13 and 19 years old can register either as a team or as an individual. And if you sign up with an individual, then you'll get paired with a team of 4 to 5 students. And it's really fun as a student. It's really lots of fun memories are created. Like we mentioned at the beginning, you do not have to have any coding experience. You can join with any sort of experience. So let's say you're really into business. That's great. We do business pitch. We do a business project. We put together an infographic. So if you're really into design, that's perfect. You get to design the infographic. So a wide range of experiences. I was lucky enough to do the STEMathon last year, and I had a blast. I joined with a team of my close friends, and like I said, we stayed awake for most of the night. We worked on it. It was lots of fun, and I would definitely recommend you join. I got to meet some exciting people, got to watch some great talks, and yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just going to talk about the mentor side a little bit. So I think one of the great things about the STEMathon, one of the great things about FIRST is that mentors come from totally different backgrounds. And STEMathon is really great for that because I got to help last year and I was a university mentor and we had people from industry. So you get a lot of people that are great resources, and that also goes to any potential mentors watching that, you know, they come from different backgrounds. And I kind of was going to share my story a little bit, you know, me with my emotional stories as usual. But yeah, so last year, you know, I was in my first year of university. I was asked to mentor for the STEMathon. And at first, I was very unsure about it because I personally never got the chance to compete in one of these. And I wasn't sure if I could bring much to the table. But I decided to say yes. And it was a very spur of the moment type thing. And it ended up being one of the best experiences I had last year. To kind of quote Karthik, what he said at the event, it was like being back at our typical first events. It has that energy. You get to work with people. And I remember, shout out to my team, the county kids from last year who were fantastic. Getting to know them and getting to work with them, it seems like you get to meet these people for the first time from a mentor and student perspective, and you put in as much time as you want, especially for mentors. Whether you could put in a lot or a little, it's very much appreciated. And I didn't know if I was going to completely get to know them, but I got to help them a lot and help other teams a lot. And by the time judging came around on the Sunday, mentors introduced their teams. I actually found myself not having the words to properly describe how awesome my team was and how awesome it was to meet all the kids. And it was almost an emotional moment. So I had an amazing time, and I'm so thankful to be helping this year. And I highly recommend, if you get asked to mentor, that you do so. And it also just says to the students, if you're interested, you have a really great group of people, the mentors, the youth council, First Canada staff taking care of you. And it's a really awesome event that you don't need specific skills for, and that really helps you learn a lot. So yeah.
And you know, Angela, you hit on so many great things there. And I think for the students, there's such a cool opportunity here because we work hard to put together a rock star crew of mentors, and they're all FIRST alums, so they have something in common with all of you. You know, they've been through this program. Most of them are still volunteers or still mentors, and they love FIRST. They'll talk random team numbers with you. They'll talk with stuff, and like some of the cool things that happened. I know one team, they were mentored by Rishi from 1310, who's been on the show before, and he like wrote a rap about his team when he introduced them to the judges, you know. And it was really cool getting to see people, you know, whenever someone needed it's like, oh, I'm working on this, I need someone who has experience with manufacturing, there's a mentor who has experience with that. And so even though you have one mentor assigned to your team, every team has to work with at least one other mentor. And so there's the whole pool of them, and the mentors are like coming in. And for me, the coolest thing was just being able to sit on so many teams' presentations and see what they were working on and offer advice. It was just, you know, you said it, Angela, it was like we were back at an event. And you know how you go to an event and then like you meet someone on like the Thursday, and then like by Saturday, they're like your best friend all of a sudden, even though you've only spent a couple hours with them, because like that forged common bond. It happened in the STEMathon too. And so it was super, super cool. So thanks for sharing that story, Angela. I'm going to pass it back to Mahak.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I can beat that wonderful story. But yeah, the STEMathon is full of so many cool experiences, whether like you're a mentor or a student. And it's extremely like rewarding, especially to participate and look back and reflect after like those 24 hours that you've been just like grinding nonstop. But like a bit of a recap from our 2020 STEMathon, I think on your screen you can see the schedule that we had. And although this is a very like short period of time, it was packed with a lot of wonderful speakers, activities, and workshops and different types of like smaller segments that we had. So like the student and mentor experience could be the best that it possibly can be. And I know one of like the cool things about the STEMathon is that really in the beginning, we really do equip you with some of the skills that are necessary that you need throughout your journey while you're working on this project. So we had some wonderful presentations on like brainstorming and design tips, and also like pitching and how to present your ideas from first alumni. And then we had some like story times with past first alumni like Erica Rossi, who was the chair of the Youth Girls in STEM Executive Advisory Council, which is amazing. And then also like story time with Dr. Edmonton Coe, and then yoga. I think someone mentioned that before. But just like a bit of like a recap of how many people participated. So hopefully we can get more this year. Last year we had around 100 plus participants with 20 plus mentors, 6 speakers, 4 activities and workshops. And everyone was basically working towards the central theme, which was accelerate the future of education. And at the beginning of the STEMathon, we launched the theme through a video. So we just wanted to showcase that video right now, which is made by Aiden, and it was such an amazing video, and it featured Dr.
We adults have created education systems that confuse training with education. For example, learning math is training, but learning to think using the principles of math requires education. Most of science in schools is learning the facts, but education in science is about the process of discovery.
So this was our super cool theme release video. And the cool thing is that the theme is actually released on the day of the STEMathon. So you don't really know exactly what's going to be happening before. And it's really great because the moment the theme gets released, everyone's like hopping onto Slack, trying to connect the mentors that maybe may have experience like in the education sector, for example. So it's definitely amazing. And I think we can move on to the next part of our infographics.
Yeah, when the theme gets dropped, it's just like kickoff day, you know? It's like, oh, we got the game. We just want to brainstorm. We just want to dive into this. Oh, we only have 6 weeks. We only have 24 hours. So it's like, great.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy when you first get it. And that was such a cool video. Makes me so excited for this year. But here on the screen, you'll see infographics. So when teams compete and they go for judging, they do create their own infographics, as you can see, and they're very colorful, creative. Teams gather data, statistics to support the problem that they solved. And I think a great thing that you'll see on these about the STEMathon is you don't have to go about these challenges in an engineering way per se. You could solve them in the way that you find you want to do. So like some teams are very strong with their business plan, or maybe they make an app, or my team last year, they catted a mouse, which was an engineering approach. But you could tackle the problem however you want. And as I mentioned earlier, there's no major experience required. Both the mentors and the students learn a lot from this event. We both come away with a lot of lessons and a lot of people that we've met. And you could see the hard work from past years. And I'm very confident that the people we get this year are going to do just as good, if not a better job. So I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, and just to add on, a part of the STEMathon like submission requirement is the infographic, but teams also do a live pitch where they use like their presentation skills and a lot of like the soft skills that we learn in first to like really present their ideas to a panel of judges. And the pitches are done live, so it's really cool. It kind of mimics like the chairman's presentation or these other like presentations that you give during first robotics, which is really interesting because unfortunately like last year we didn't really have a lot of that experience, and we were able to gain a lot of this like in-person energy and environment, like everyone said, like through the STEMathon, which is incredible.
And Angela mentioned this, but your project can be anything. You know, last year with the topic being education for the future, like sure, some people focused on, you know, physical hardware sort of stuff, but some teams even came up with ways to reform curriculum and ways to change teaching. So like it's all sorts of learners. And, you know, we talk about ED&I and the importance of diverse teams, and that really, really applies with the STEMathon because you want to have a group of people with different skill sets. So when this theme comes out, you're like, oh, this is the project we want to approach, and we have the skills to come up with it this way. But if you don't have the skills, that's why you've got lots of mentors available to help out. And it's just a cool, you know, interdisciplinary project.
And I guess this is sort of our recap, but we can move on to when the STEMathon is happening. So hopefully everyone's paying attention during John Hobbins and Mr. Ellio's presentation. But the date, I think we can move on to the next slide, is March 21st, 20th to 21st, which is basically like around a month and a half away, which is super exciting. And there'll be more information on First Canada. I guess we can move on to the next slide. There'll be a link at the bottom where you can find more information on how to register. And basically, we like for more information about what past STEMathons were like. A lot of the stuff that we presented during this presentation as well will be on there. So hopefully we'll get some people to register, which is really exciting.
And so those dates, March 20th to 21st, that's the weekend, right? Saturday, Sunday?
Yes, it is. Yes.
And it's on the March break, right?
Yeah, so hopefully everyone is available and everyone can attend.
And even better, it looks like based on the announcements that Dave and John made, that this is after Dean's List and Chairman's interviews, right, Artie?
That's right. Yep, it's actually right after the so there'll be a lot of students that don't have to worry about Dean's List or Chairman submissions or those dead timelines to kind of get that. Plus, the March break as well will help you. It's really a great way during this period of pandemic, and especially because we've been in this isolation, it might be a great way to connect with each other and different people, right? So anybody's welcome to. You can form your own teams, or you can come individually, and we will pair you up in different teams. So, like Karthik was saying, it's exciting to maybe meet and network with other different people at the event.
You know, and for our FRC teams out there who would have been competing probably at the Waterloo Regional Waterloo District that weekend, it's like you feel like you need that urge to compete or do something cool, sign up as a team, you know, bring 4 or 5 people in it and dive into this. This can be a team project, or, you know, if you're an individual who thinks this is cool, then check it out. And, you know, Julia, your team last year was all pre-assigned, like you all knew each other, right?
Yeah.
But there were a bunch of teams, and I think it was one of the teams who won some of the awards. And we need to talk about that. They were a group, they didn't know each other at all, and they came together and they did some awesome stuff. And I said awards, but you know, last year, Artie and Mahak, weren't there some pretty cool prizes?
There were some very cool prizes last year, and we're hoping to have the same this year. But there's some really, yes, there were some awesome laptops and a lot of cool technology items that we gave out. So looking forward to maybe getting some more this year. And so sign up if you're on there.
All right, we have a couple questions from chat, and one question is, you know, we've talked about how awesome this is, but you know, no one talked about the big one. Everyone wants to know, how much does it cost to participate in the STEMathon?
$755. No, I'm just joking. The STEMathon is totally free, and I think Artie, you were going to add on to that.
No, I was just going to say it's totally free, but all you need to do is register, sign a consent form that you can actually attend the event, and then you're signed up. An email will come out to you, so it's totally free for anybody willing to join, and anybody across Canada can join.
And you know, thank you to all our wonderful sponsors who allow us to be able to offer things like this for free, you know, and making all of this happen. You know, another question, and we kind of touched on this, but what happens if you don't have a team? Like, can this work? Can you, as an individual, can you sign up as a person?
Yeah, so on the registration process, so once you go onto the First Canada website, when you're registering, you can indicate whether you want to sign up as an individual or you have some teammates. And once the registration process is over, we'll actually assign teams together of people who have signed up as individuals, or if we have a group of 3, we'll put some other students into it. So you'll definitely be competing with a team, and this is a great opportunity to also like connect with other members in the First community. So you don't have to be as nervous as like whether you don't know everyone on your team, because this is a great way to like network and get to know other people.
And so, Julia, you told us you participated in this last year. What was your project like?
My project was very fun. So our team decided to focus on the different types of learning, whether that be like visual learners or hands-on learners, stuff like that. And we decided to kind of go about the changing the curriculum sort of path. So we created a project that implemented those types of learning into everyday classes, which is pretty neat and definitely learned a lot. We created a website, or we created like a mock website. So we met with one of our mentors that wasn't like the one assigned to us, but the one that we reached out to. So he actually designs websites for I can't remember if it was for a living or he's just really good at it.
Who was
and I'm not too sure I can remember.
That's okay. We can figure it out
Okay.
afterwards.
Yeah. And so he helped us create sort of like a mock website. It was on Google Slides, and it was lots of fun.
That is super cool. And Angela, you were saying that your students catted up a mouse, and not a rat, but like a computer mouse.
Yeah, they made a mouse that they could use in third world countries because in countries that they may not be as developed with technology in schools, they found that when they went on a trip to the Dominican Republic, that it was hard to teach people how to use a mouse. They wanted to create one that would have feedback, so it would be easier for them to use in their education, which is really cool, and it taught me a lot for sure. And it's amazing what these kids come up with. Like I think they come up with so many great solutions for this broad problem that we give them. So
Yeah, and when thinking about the STEMathon, for students right now who are working on the Innovation Challenge and are really enjoying the first Innovation Challenge, the STEMathon is really similar. That you're utilizing the same sorts of skills and trying to solve a problem. And so if you're into that and you want to try it in like a rapid environment, or you didn't participate this year because your team for whatever reason couldn't make it happen, but you were excited about this, or you really love to learn from some of these mentors, because like that's the coolest thing, the networking that happens in here. You're going to be working with 20 to 30 of the best mentors that First Canada has to offer. And like think about all the various guests that we've had on First Canada Live for story times. Almost all of them were mentors last time. So we had experts in software development, people with their own startups. We had Shifa Abbas, who's a master's in education, was talking about pedagogy with people. Rishi, who does all sorts of development. We had mathematicians, engineers. It was just it's so cool. And so this is like your chance to get with them. And like if you're ever at an event and you're just kind of like in awe of these mentors, it's like, man, their robots are so good. I wish I could meet them. I wish I could learn from them. The STEMathon, you can have mentors from 1114 or 610 or Makeshift or Celtech. Like these are the types of people who are going to be in the room. So that's super cool.
And you have access to them 24/7 for that 2 days, right? For that whole weekend. So it's pretty cool to be able to, and like you, and Karthik, what you said is right. The Innovation Challenge, this is a great way kind of to even practice, your skills and be able to present something quickly in a short turnaround time. So.
I will say about the 24/7 part, some of our mentors are a little old, so some of them will need to take naps along the way or whatever. I needed to get some sleep at some point. It was I couldn't stay up with everyone. But thanks to all of you for telling us about the STEMathon and all the work that you're putting together with your planning committee to put this all together. Does anyone have any final thoughts on the STEMathon that they want to close us out with?
I just want to say, just register. I think the opportunity is there to make great connections, to meet mentors, like Karthik was saying, in all these different various teams across Ontario or even across the US. So just make sure you register. It's a great, engaging, interactive online opportunity, a great way to problem solve in a very short time and collaborate with various teams with open minds. So register now. We'll have the link shortly on Twitch. And that's kind of from my end. If Angela or Mehek or Julia had any last comments.
I could add on to that. A lot of what I heard from a lot of students last year, it was a lot like when those out there, when you first joined your first team, I'm sure it was nerve wracking. It could be the same thing I know for events like the STEMathon, but I think just like when you joined your first team, when you go through an event like this, it's so rewarding. You learn so much and you take away a lot, especially when the students do such a great job and put so much work into it and you meet a lot of great people. So I definitely encourage, even if you have doubts, just sign up and the mentors and first staff youth council will guide you along the way. So we look forward to seeing you there.
Absolutely. 2021 STEMathon, Girls and Allies, presented by First Canada. It's going to be a great time. I can't wait for it. It was like maybe one of my highlights of 2020. So it's going to be awesome. So thank you all for being here. And thanks for everyone who's been a part of the show. It's been a really, really good time. And, you know, we're glad to announce all these cool things that are going on. If you're curious about any of the dates, you didn't have a chance to get them written down, or that's okay. Head over to the First Canada website. It always has the information you need. Also, well, if you're watching this right now, you're probably watching this on YouTube. You can pause and rewind, you know, like, you know, people who are watching live can't, but it's all going to be there. You can find out all the information and tune in for John Hobbins and Dave Ellis with the mentor chat tomorrow for mentors who want to learn more about what's going on. But next week, we've got another exciting show. Julia, this is a fun one because we're going to be celebrating International Day of Women and Girls in Science. And I believe you're going to be coming back on with a panel discussion with the Youth Council, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's going to be super cool. And we're going to have 2020 Ontario Woody Flowers Finalist Award winner Vivian Wynn from Team 1241 and 1285